Hey guys, this is Jack from CruiseCasinoMafia.com. So this is a special video. You guys on the public side that are not members of Cruise Casino Mafia have heard me mention, I didn't realize it, but I mentioned it, I guess, in several of the car videos that I've put up publicly about our new concept that came out a couple of weeks ago. We are the only ones, this is basically our creation. It's called Baccarat Cipher. And I mentioned it and I talked a little bit about it, but I realized when I looked that I never really did a video. I told people that I would do a public video to kind of give a glimpse and an idea of to what the concept is. So I thought I'd do a quick video today and show you what the members of CruiseCasinoMafia.com are all getting as part of the membership and where we're going with this and what it is. So the reason it's called a cipher, if you look up cipher, a cipher is something like in World War II or military uses to decode messages or encode messages, right? It's kind of like, think about, what's that movie with Tom Hanks? Oh my God, I just went blank. You know, where they're trying to figure out Da Vinci Code. So, you know, you're trying to figure out a code, things like that. Well, a few months back, we had a concept that we did a bunch of private videos for, and it was called the Baccarat bonus, a block system. And one of the concepts that we were doing in there was to kind of start the evolution of removing ourselves from playing the same game that the casino wants you to play with Baccarat, all right? And it had elements of that, but it was a little bit confusing. It worked really well, but it forced us to do a couple of things that didn't make it as user-friendly as I wanted. I knew we were on the verge of something really incredible with that. And that's what led to the last few months of evaluating and creating Baccarat Cipher. So let's talk about this real quickly. So a cipher is an encoder or a decoder, right? And what I wanted to do was, let me give you the basics here. So let's go. So this is just Wizard of Odds, you know, where everybody uses, you know, a normal, imagine this is your regular Baccarat table. Well, what they want to do in the casino is they want you to use their visual, their representations of the game of Baccarat, right? So you know there's 3 bets in Baccarat. We don't bet on ties. We only bet on banker or player. So here's the most popular ways that the casino shows this, online as well as in person. They have these big boards at every table, and this is what you see. This is called the big board. And if you're not familiar with Baccarat, if it's the same thing, like here you had players followed by players, they stay in the same row. And when it chops or jumps, it jumps to the next row where you have a banker. And if it chops again, it goes to the next row. But here you see that there were 3 players in a row. So this is the visual that you see in the casino that we're all used to using, right? And you look at this visual and you say, okay, I'm going to play this game. And some people will say, okay, when it drops 4, I'm going to always bet for the chop. Or when it's chopping like this, I'm going to bet for the chop to continue. And there's a million different ways that people have come up with to be able to analyze this configuration. This is the other thing that you've seen us do on this channel and multiple people use. It's called the bead road. So this is simply another visual aspect of the game, but this one puts 6 down, and then 6 results down, and then 6 results down. And people come up with ways of using this as the game. All right. So one of the things we knew when we knew the Shuffle Master months and months and months ago was that they were manipulating the shoes, and the way that you were playing the shoes, one of the things we realized was stop playing their game. Okay? And let's talk about what that means. All right? What does that mean? Well, we obviously have to put our money in and pick banker or player, right? We're still betting with them. But what the problem is that they're now pre-sorting those decks inside the Shuffle Master using algorithms to try to beat us, right? And I'm not going to get into what they're doing, how they're doing it, whatever it is. Whatever it is, the bottom line is the average shoes today do not look like the shoes from the Zuma, or shoes that were coming out hand shuffled, or shoes that were not using these Shuffle Masters. They don't look the same. So they never changed the rules of Baccarat, but what they did was they manipulate the cards. They manipulate what you're seeing and the pre-sorting of the cards. So if you believe, you have to believe this first to be able to understand what the cipher does. If you believe that if you took away the extra manipulation, right, the Shuffle Master, and if you could beat the pure game of Baccarat, meaning without the manipulation, you still have to beat the game, right? People didn't win millions of dollars just because there wasn't a Shuffle Master being used. You still had to have a great strategy and good money management, right? But without that, what I realized is that I felt the biggest problem in modern day Baccarat was the extra problem they were causing, the manipulation. It was making it even harder to win, in my opinion, okay? So I felt like all the great strategies that we all look at and that we provide to members of CruiseCasinoMafia.com, many of them work really well. But wouldn't some of these strategies and new strategies work better if you were playing with more of a level playing field? So that's where I came from with what we created with the cipher. So the cipher eliminates the use of the way that the patterns and the way that the bankers and players are coming out of the shoe as our strategy. We don't use the bead road. We don't use the big road. So essentially what we wanted to do was basically play our own pure game, right? Play a pure game of Baccarat. And the only reason we're using the casino is almost like a broker. We're putting our money in. We're getting that same amount in chips. But we're going to play our game, right? We're going to play our game now. And if we win our game, the only other reason we're using the casino is to tell us whether our game we're winning or losing bets. And then when we win or lose our bets at the end of the session, we're going to take our chips and we're going to cash them back in to money. So we're not using their version of what this looks like to analyze what we're doing for our bet selection. Now that is a completely revolutionary way of looking at this game, because most channels and most people are making their decisions based on this, based on patterns. Now we can still base things on pattern play. We can still base things on all different types of amazing strategies, but we're no longer playing their patterns. We're playing ours. We're the first ones that I'm aware of to ever do this. So now how do you do that? Okay, here's the deal. I created, after a lot of work, a game within the game. So think about what I'm going to show you now as an Xbox, as a Game Boy, all right? And now take that component, the decoder, the cipher, and think of it, and this is the visual that I created in my brain when we created this. You know those word scrambles? It's like a box, and all the letters are in there, and then you have a keys, right? And the key or the code is all the words that you need to find in the scramble. So I used that concept and built what I built, the cipher, on top of that. And this does not change. This is our Game Boy, and I'll show you what it looks like right now. I'm going to black out the actual game the pattern. All right, so do you see this? It's a square. Inside of here, for each one of these that you see, right, A1, B1, A2, there's 84 boxes in here in the decoder or the encoder. And there's a reason that it can be used for both. All right. Inside of here is a specially formatted algorithm that looks like a jumble, like a word scramble, of the B's and the P's. It is not random. It provides us with a way to play the game randomly outside of using this. But I'm going to tell you that the way that this is structured, and where there's B's and where there's P's and where there's 3 B's and 2 P's and everything else, is based on a lot of work. I am not going to get into that. The same way that Mickey Mays does not get into the exact way that he beat the game, I'm gonna not give you why the B's and the P's are the way that they are on the cipher that my members are getting, that Kruskino Mafia members are getting. But I'm going to tell you that below this blackout are B's and P's. Now, I'm going to give you another little hint. The final ability when we created this final version of, or this version of the cipher for Baccarat, we created an extra layer of randomization that we use. And that is the access points. 1 through 12 down the left side, and the A through G, okay, are the access points. All right? So, let's talk about the next thing. This is the Game Boy, or the Xbox, or the Nintendo. This is not the strategy. We create individual strategies for Baccarat Cipher. And they all use the game component, the Xbox. Okay, but each strategy is based on a completely different set of rules that tell us where to start, which access point, if it's a random access point, or whatever it may be, where the starting points are. They tell you what to bet that's in that cell, whether it's a B or a P. Each one of the strategies then has rules of what we're attempting to do inside of this game and how to move after wins and losses inside of this game. Now, I'll give you one more little thing. We can move vertically here, right? Vertically inside. We can move horizontally on the access points inside of here and for wherever we are, right? If we're here in this box, if we're in C4 and we win, the rules can tell us to completely move away from here and pick another random spot. We can have rules that go diagonally. We can have rules that go vertically from a win, horizontally from a win. We can have rules that create shapes and figures based on that win. We can have rules for games that go back to that area after a loss. We can do, there are hundreds of variations of what can be utilized. Just like the Xbox, it's coding, and then the game makers create the code that is played within the system. So this is what Baccarat Cipher looks like without the actual cipher. You're not seeing the cipher, okay? So we currently have released 2 strategies that are using Baccarat Cipher. The third strategy, as of when this video comes out, is probably either being released to our members this week or next week, okay? And we have multiple strategies that are being tested that will be using the cipher. And the only way you can use the cipher and get the cipher is to be a member of CruiseCasinoMafia.com. You can become a lifetime member right now. You can use the code Mafia and the number 50 to get $50 off. And in the next few weeks, the lifetime membership is going to be going up. So this is your last chance to get in as a lifetime membership. Get all 400 systems we've created for Baccarat, Roulette, and Craps, including everything going forward for Baccarat Cipher. All right? So and each one of the strategies for Baccarat Cipher is very different. They include the rules, but they also include, which you guys know how I feel, most important is the money management that we recommend for that specific game. Now, you can test other money management against the money management that we're giving you, and you may like some of those things better, okay? And that's fine. We always tell you that you need to test and evaluate, right? But I will tell you this, that the majority of the strategies we're going to be releasing early on for Baccarat Cipher use very conservative money management. So you can play this fun game in the casino. And by the way, that's important. How do you take this to the casino? You would simply print this out or have these printed on a pad, or just print them out and cut them out and put them in a little booklet or whatever you want to bring with you to the casino. Staple them, whatever it is. And by the way, some of the games or strategies, you can use the same cipher and just continue to play it. It has nothing to do with the shoe itself many times. So you can play the same cipher until it gets too filled up, the game gets filled up. You can continue to play the same cipher. It's not based on one shoe. We don't care about shoes unless you care about shoes. We care about the ongoing game that we're playing. The shoe is only meaningful as a virtual way of starting and stopping for you in the casino. You should start and stop when you've made enough money or completed the game. If there is a completion of the game, right? If it is a game that requires a completion. You stop when you make enough units. You don't stop because they tell you that the shoe is over, okay? Or it's a new shoe. You stop playing their game and you start playing your game. And our game, we now control the way we view the B's and the P's. We don't use their B's and P's. We only use our wins and losses from them. The result is all that we're taking, money lost and money won. Units won, unit lost from what we're doing in the casino. But we're not using their B's and P's as bet selection for our game anymore. We've removed the shuffle master manipulation from the game by using our own way of visualizing, not just visualizing, but our own B's and P's. Okay? So that is the big change for what we're doing. All right? So this is the basic concept of Baccarat Cipher. Now you guys see what it kind of looks like without the codes in here. Now, I'll finish up the video here. We are going to be releasing at some point in the next 20 days or so. It may be sooner. But we have so much stuff going on, and I'm overwhelmed by how much work I'm doing at the moment and getting stuff out. All right? So I don't want to throw everything out in 1 week. It's overwhelming. So we're gonna slowly be bringing out new strategies for the cipher. We have 2 right now. The third one is probably going to be this week or next week. All right? For our members. And then we're going to release the introductory video and strategy number 1 for the roulette cipher. That's right. The same basic concept is now going to be converted to roulette. The same concept that I just told you. How is that going to work? We have even money bets in roulette, the same as the B's and the P's in Baccarat. Okay? We are going to be doing some really amazing stuff with the Roulette Cipher version as well. So we've recreated the game for ourselves, and now we're using the casino even more as simply our broker. Our broker. They are only a means for us to put our money in and get our money out. But we are using this as the game. We are not letting any type of manipulation in any game that we create ciphers for be in charge. They will never have our cipher. They will never know our strategy because we're not using what they want us to use. Now, the use of the cipher does not make you money. It is the Xbox. It does not have a game. The strategies for each one is the actual meat and potatoes. Okay? This is the decoder or the encoder. Without a message coming in, the decoder and encoder have nothing to do. With the word scramble having letters here, right? Like a word scramble, but without having the key that says the word, mission, the word money, the word casino, it's just a scramble. So make no mistake about it. This is our vehicle, but it is not our strategy. The strategies are individual, just like games. Okay? So I hope that this answers the question for one of the things we're doing that only members of Cruise Casino Mafia can get. Yesterday, I got an email from one of our brand new members that used strategy number 1, used the money management that was recommended, and in a day and a half, playing strategy number 1, he made over 80 units. Now, I'm not telling you that to say every day you're making 80 units. That's ridiculous. All I'm saying is that the feedback and the people that understand this, it's hard to wrap your brain around that we're not using the casino's visuals, the casino's B's and P's to determine our patterns or anything like that. We're walking away from that when we use this. Okay? It's a different evolution of trying to beat the game. It's not the only way, but it's an evolutionary way that we're using to create our own strategies using our own game system. And if that makes sense to you, you definitely got to take a look. All right? I love what I'm doing with this. It's taken a long time to take the ideas and to put them into something as simplistic as this. And I absolutely love what we're doing with it. All right? I can see very quickly having 10 different strategies for this cipher and 10 different strategies for the roulette cipher and constantly building in new strategies on a regular basis. That's where I'm going with this specific concept. And it's one of many that we're doing in Cruise Casino Mafia. It's just one of many concepts that we're creating that we have. All right? So with that being said, you guys now got to see Baccarat Cipher, what the concept is, and a little peek at what we're doing with Roulette Cipher coming in the near future. I would suggest you join now if you haven't already become a member, because it's going to go up in price considerably in the next, I don't know, by the end of the year. We're going to have a new website, and a lifetime membership is not going to be the same amount of money because of the amount of work we're doing and the amount of strategies and existing content. It doesn't make sense for me to give you that much content and new content every week going forward for the lifetime membership that we currently have. So if you've been on the fence, it's time to get in now. You're basically paying $1 or less for every video, every strategy, every PDF that we have now. And by the way, it's only going to go down because you're never paying again for any of the CCM strategies. Okay? It's a one-time deal. So if you want to pay less than $1 and it keep going down and down as we're providing new content weekly and monthly, it's time to get in now. All right, so we'll see you inside Cruise Casino Mafia. Please do us a favor on the public side. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for future free content. And make sure that by doing that, you'll be able to get notices of when we do new content and new strategies for free on the channel. Have a great day. I hope to see a whole bunch of new people in our membership. Join the Mafia. Take your casino strategies that you learn from us, test, tweak, practice, and turn any casino into your own personal ATM. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.